From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
What even is a vol? Good morning and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Lee Jeffries.
I wish I could tell you, but really, who cares? I'm Olivia Mundorf, and thank you for joining us. Number 17 UNC hosted number 10 Tennessee in the ACC-SEC Challenge on Wednesday night in a rocking, packed-out Dean Dome. The Heels fed off that energy from the jump. Always a staple for the Tar Heels, Armando Bacot poured in 15 points and 3 assists in the first half, including this dunk. Not to be outdone was Harrison Ingram, who added 15 points of his own. However, the second half was a different game. Number 10 Tennessee picked up the level of play, led by Dalton Kecht, who Carolina struggled to guard all night long. With less than 4 minutes to go, Tennessee had cut a 24-point UNC lead to just 6. A couple of big buckets from guard RJ Davis and some clutch free throws down the stretch kept Carolina ahead. The Heels won 100-92 and face off against ACC foe Florida State at home on Saturday.
If not the best, one of the best defensive teams in the country. I thought our spacing and our ball and player movement was good. I felt like we were able to beat them off the bounce and get them into rotations. And from an offensive standpoint, it was one of the better halves that since I've been here for 12 years as assistant, as a head coach. It was pretty special.
For more about one of the Tar Heels' top performances of the season so far, let's bring in men's basketball analyst Landon Elliott. Landon.
Olivia, in relationships, situationships, and marriage, space is never good. However, for UNC basketball, space was a friend on Wednesday. Offensively, the Heels were clicking on all cylinders. Off-ball movement was critical to their success and led to open shots on the perimeter. The Free Biscuits are back, and Carolina has proven we don't need the Biscuit Boys at the end of a low-conference team game to win the Biscuits. The Heels put up a hundo against an SEC AP top 10 team. Let's see exactly how they got it done. So on this first play, we're going to see RJ Davis at the top of the key. He's going to get a screen from Armando Bacot, and as you can see here, you're going to have 2 defenders here crash the paint to try to guard Armando. Armando kicks it out to Harrison Ingram's man, who's now on Armando, and Harrison Ingram's going to be wide open for an open look at the top of the key for a 3. And that's just good offense. We couldn't do that last year when we had open looks. We now have guys who can knock down those open shots. Next, we're going to have Elliot Cadeau. He's going to crash into the paint. And what does everyone do? All 5 of these defenders are looking at him, trying to crash that paint again. Elliot Cadeau finds a wide-open Jalen Withers in the corner. Now, that's not Jalen Withers' shot, so he's going to pass to a guy who can really knock down those threes. And again, scores 3-2. Harrison Ingram's going to get another shot at it to start the game, and he's going to hit his second three-pointer in less than 2 minutes. That's just great offense by the Heels, and that's great finding your guys on the corner, really having that space on the offense. And the next shot we're going to see here is ball movement. That's the key to this Heels offense. That's one of the reasons why they got 100 points. See RJ Davis passing out C-Mac on the end, and he's going to knock down a wide open shot. That's just great offense. That's another great example of the additions Carolina has. Cormac Ryan, Harrison Ingram, they're both knocking down those open shots. That's what we need. Next play, we're going to see a little slip screen by Jalen Washington. He's going to be wide open. And what has Jalen Washington improved on? His open three-pointers. He's going to knock down this one off that slip screen. And that's just great offense by the Heels. The additions of Harrison Ingram and C-Mac have helped incredibly on the offensive end, as I said earlier. It really takes off the pressure from RJ Davis and Armando Bacot to constantly be the guy. They add shot-making ability, shooting, and most importantly, as we talked about, spacing to keep a defense honest and prevent opponents from game planning for only just 1 or 2 guys. The Tar Heels didn't have that last season. At 6-1, the Heels are sitting nicely at number 17 and are sure to move up after the big win against Tennessee. Also wanted to give a shout out to Caleb Love at Arizona. He's doing his thing out there. He's averaging 13 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. And he also beat the Duke Blue Devils at Cameron Indoor earlier this season. Olivia.
Landon, what do you think the Heels need to do to keep this momentum going as they head into ACC play this weekend?
Olivia, as we talked about today, spacing is going to be key. They need to move the ball around to all their guys on offense, find those open looks as we talked about, and that will be the key to success for Carolina basketball, not just in the regular season, but as we move into postseason play. Olivia.
Thanks, Landon.
The 24th ranked women's team faced a big challenge Thursday night in the Challenge, hosting the top ranked team in the land, the South Carolina Gamecocks. The Heels jumped out early, scoring 19 points in the first quarter to the Gamecocks' 10 points. South Carolina had a turnover problem in the beginning of the game with 8 turnovers in the first half. Yet late in the second quarter, South Carolina found their momentum and rallied back from 11 points down. Deja Kelly led the Heels in scoring with 20 points for the night. Alyssa Utsby scored 18 points and made 12 rebounds for UNC's offense. Despite a season-low shooting percentage, South Carolina hit a few major shots to put the score in their favor, but ultimately it was their defense that undid the Heels. UNC fell 65-58 and will look for redemption at home as they host UNC Greensboro on Wednesday.
These guys stuck to the defensive game plan as much as I could have asked. We clearly, if you had showed me that we would shoot 31% from 2 and 19% from 3, I would have thought we would have done.
Olivia, what did you think of the game last night?
I will say I was there in person. It was probably one of the best games that I've been to in Carmichael in terms of the atmosphere. The students really showed up, and the Lady Tar Heels gave a great effort against South Carolina, the #1 team in the country. I think it's a good test before we head into ACC play. Alyssa played well, Deja played well. I hope, Paulina can start stepping up in her role, and eventually we're going to need to get a bounce-back win after the losses we took in the Florida tournament last weekend, and then, of course, last night. But I think this team's in a good place, and I'm excited to see where they're going from here into ACC play.
I agree with you, Olivia. I was really impressed with our team last night, playing a top-ranked team, the #1 team, but I agree that we need to start getting those wins. And now, speaking of being impressed, Vance Honeycutt is one of the best college baseball players in America. Isabella Gesco sat down with him to discuss the upcoming season and his future in the game.
To the buses in left for Vance Honeycutt. Honeycutt is just scratching the surface. It's a 2-run homer for Honeycutt. This guy is a stud.
You're back. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Excited to get back. Long time coming, but super excited for what's to come.
I'm going to list out a few of your accomplishments real quick, okay? ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Center field going back. Honeycutt at the warning track, and he makes the catch.
48 stolen bases and 37 home runs in the last 2 years.
I think it's just something I was gifted with, speed, a little bit of power. So just trying to use that, to my advantage each and every time I go out on the field.
You had this amazing freshman year, kind of took a step back offensively last year. How do you get back to that original form of offense?
The big thing after my freshman year was, kind of cut down the strikeouts. Feel like I did that a little bit better. And now it's just kind of putting it all together this year. Worked really hard with, Coach Weers, other people, and just tried to, get better, at the plate, better eye, better play discipline. So I think just doing that, I was able to, kind of bring that strikeout rate down. But, like I said, I think it's just putting it all together, being a better hitter and, with experience that also comes.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but you're kind of known for your home run robberies, correct? Mm-hmm. SportsCenter twice?
I think so.
Is there ever a time where you surprised yourself getting one?
Yeah, the one at Pitt, I would say. It was just kind of I was running back and jumped up at the right time, and I was able to bring it down.
Did he catch it? Honeycutt with an unbelievable grab in center field.
That just kind of happened. But
I got it.
Yeah. I surprised myself for sure. We've gotten lucky. I think a little bit. A lot of bounces have fallen our way over the last 2 years. I'll say that. It's hard to practice those things because you can't really have a fungo and hit it over the wall perfectly every single time. So it's just kind of like one of those things that we have athletes out there, and ball gets hit, we gotta make a play.
I know you're focused on the upcoming season and not really looking at draft boards, but it's hard to kind of ignore the noise in regards to your draft status. How does it feel seeing that people are ranking you sometimes top 5, top 3, and in some cases the first overall pick?
Yeah, I try to block that out as much as you can. You know it's there, and you have to be aware of that because you don't just want to throw it completely off. But it's just one of those things that I don't really look at. focus on the present, try to stay where your feet are. That's what I'm trying to do right now, and just, all that stuff will play out how it will.
What can we expect this upcoming season from Vance Honeycutt and then UNC baseball?
Expect a lot of firepower on both sides. We have a lot of power arms, some new guys that you might not have heard of, or maybe you have, but I think there's a lot of transfers and a lot of new guys that are going to be able to help us out. So I think it's going to be a dynamic offense and a powerful pitching staff that is going to be able to get some guys out.
We look forward to watching Vance and the rest of the Diamond Heels this spring.
As fans brace themselves for an announcement from Drake May that he'll enter the 2024 draft, a new quarterback is already on his way to Chapel Hill. Texas A&M transfer Max Johnson recently entered the transfer portal and announced his commitment to UNC. Johnson is a 6'6" lefty quarterback with high offensive capabilities. Despite a lackluster season last year at Texas A&M, Johnson previously had an elite season at LSU, throwing 27 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. The UNC quarterback room looks to have a little bit of competition between Johnson and rising sophomore Connor Harrell for the upcoming season. Drake May is up for another award, and during his time as a Tar Heel, he has certainly earned it. May has been nominated for the Manning Award. This award goes to the best QB in the country, and the latest May to pass through Chapel Hill has a pretty good case. He has thrown for just a bit more than 3,600 yards and has tossed the ball to the end zone 24 times. Drake has also tacked on almost 500 yards on the ground and 9 rushing touchdowns. May is projected to be a top pick in the NFL draft, and the Tar Heel offense will certainly miss him next year.
UNC football might not have had the fairy tale ending to the season, but the Heels got some great recognition in the All-ACC Awards. Spencer Rowland, Corey Gaynor, Miles Murphy, and Elijah Huzzy are honorable mention on the All-ACC team. Power Eccles, Willie Lampkin, and Tez Walker got third-team honors. Tez Walker still was recognized despite his 4-game absence with 41 receptions, 699 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Cayman Rucker, Noah Burnett, and Drake May represent the Heels on the second-team honors list. May had 62 touchdowns, 4th most in UNC history. The Heels representing UNC on the first-team honors are Cedric Gray, who currently ranks 12th in FBS with 121 tackles this season. Bryson Nesbitt, who is ranked first in the ACC as a tight end for his 5 touchdowns and 14.3 yards per reception. And Omarion Hampton, who completed the regular season leading the conference in 5 categories, including yards and touchdowns. Hampton is ranked 8th in the FBS with 15 touchdowns. UNC senior punter Ben Kiernan suffered a season-ending injury, which opened up the position to a second-string punter, who got off the plane from Australia in January to begin his college football endeavors. Here's Sophie Watson with more.
Tom McGinnis has been a rugby player his entire life, and his rugby club thought he had what it takes to make it in America. However, the switch came with some culture shocks.
Coming here, I didn't know there was 120 players on a team, and not many of them actually get the chance to play. So now that I'm playing now, and it's really like a big deal for me.
McGinnis said he was grateful for his new teammates and the opportunity to play at Carolina, and is still starstruck by the supportive fans and game day atmosphere.
I love to promote the family environment at Carolina, and that's a big reason why I wanted to come here. You could tell Coach Brown just loves that brotherhood aspect. So,
due to the injury of Kiernan, Tom went from not playing to being a starter for the Tar Heels. Joining a team with a senior punter, kicker, and snapper has allowed for an easy transition from rugby to football.
I had to get Tom ready, get him going, tell him to calm down, get loose, throughout the game, because his emotions the same. You don't know if he's happy, sad, it's just smile on his face, quiet, good to go.
Despite the initial culture shock and the sudden shift in his role on the team, with the help of his experienced teammates, McGinnis has proved himself to be a valuable asset to the Tar Heels. I'm Sophie Watson reporting.
The bowl game details will be out in the coming days. Some projections have the Heels facing the Tennessee Volunteers.
With a berth in the Final Four on the line, the men's soccer team will host Oregon State tomorrow night on Dorrance Field. The Heels just came off of a nail-biting win against the Xtra Lions, where they tied the game late to force overtime and then PKs. Junior midfielder Andrew Check took note from the chilly weather and iced the game for the Heels to survive and advance to the Elite Eight. The Heels' record sits at 11, 3, and 7, and they look to send the Beavers back to their dam on Saturday. The Heels have been led by strong play and fun scores like this shot from one of their offensive leaders, Quincy Aramon, and they look to keep the good times rolling well into the Final Four. After the untimely ending of the women's soccer season, a few star players are being honored for their outstanding contributions to the team. Macy Bell, Avery Patterson, and Allie Setnor are all on the All-Atlantic first team. While Savvy King was named to the second team, Setnor came out of the season with a team high of 11 goals, 5 of them being game winners. Senior Patterson had 9 goals of her own. With many key players coming back, including Setnor, the team hopes to have another successful run next season.
The field hockey team has 4 players on the NFHCA All-South Region team. Freshman Charlie Bruder, along with sophomores Sietska Bruning and Riley Heck, earned first-team honors, while freshman Sana Hawk earned second team. For Heck, this is her second time earning the honor as she was named to the second team her freshman year.
The 2024 schedule for the women's tennis team is now out. The defending national champion Tar Heels will open this season on January 13th and 15th, hosting Elon, Georgetown, and Campbell. February 9th will mark the start of the ITA National Indoor Championships, where Carolina will be looking for its 5th title in a row. Later in the season, the Tar Heels will take on rivals NC State on March 22nd and Duke on March 30th. We have some breaking news. Fiona Crawley and Team USA advanced past Ireland in the first round of the Master U Championships. She won her singles match 6-love, 6-1.
2 members of the club volleyball team are getting hits on the court and making hits off of it. Here's Caroline Ralph with that story.
Bump, set, spike, spin. That's a day in the life for Isla Wood and Grace Hanley. The two met freshman year through a mutual friend and have been close ever since. Wood convinced Hanley to join the club volleyball team, and while they enjoy their time on the courts together, it's really what they do off the courts that makes this duo so special.
Especially at UNC, there are not a lot of female DJs, and so we kind of saw that as an opportunity to be like, oh, we can do this, and we have a lot of people that will support us, and a lot of people that will come to like our initial gigs.
The pair goes by Misfire Studios and hopes to inspire female DJs with the name.
We knew that once we heard the name, we were like, that'll be it. And we wanted it to be something female related, female empowerment, and something cool. So Misfire was a good combo of those two.
Wood and Hanley often have venues in a basement just like this, but they see each gig as a step forward for female DJs. The two are self-taught, often learning through each other and friends, but love to share their wisdom.
I don't feel qualified at all to like teach this person how to DJ when I'm like an amateur myself. So it was really rewarding to have someone be like, you're really good at this, show me how to do it, I want to be a female DJ like you.
What started as a fun side hobby has morphed into a mission of female empowerment. DJing and volleyball might not seem like they have a lot in common, but if there's one thing these two show us, is that they can keep the ball bumping on the court and the music bumping off of it. I'm Caroline Ralph reporting.
Those two definitely have some awesome talents, and you know what? We should keep that music going because it leads perfectly into our play of the week. UNC goalie Andrew Cordes makes an impressive PK save in the Sweet 16 against Xtra. You know, Lee, on the offensive side, though, for the Heels, this was a great save, but those were 5 of the best PKs I have ever seen. Straight to the back of the net, and that sent the men's team to the Elite Eight for a chance this weekend to advance to the College Cup, which is going to be held in Louisville next weekend.
Yeah, Olivia, these PKs definitely built some great momentum for the team, and I can't wait to see how that carries into the Elite Eight. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Tune in on Monday for a recap of another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics and our last show of the semester.